Greetings everyone! Today I will compare two most desirable Mercedes that always live rent-free in all car lovers' head. These two beautiful convertibles are more desirable than 24-year-old, well-built, beautiful brunette for a 14-year-old boy that dreams of her every day. We will talk about development of R129 and R230, common problems with these cars, and which one to buy to enjoy it for a long time and not spend all your savings in few months just to keep up the maintenance. Let's start from R129. Every SL before R129, in my opinion, was a masterpiece. So failure of R129 was not an option for Mercedes-Benz. Just like not eating a last slice of hot pizza at 2 AM after a good fight with your toxic partner. This beautiful design took about 3 years just to approve. And my favorite bold man in the automotive world, legendary Mr. Bruno Sacco, said that it was the best work by his team, and he was not wrong. And they were very close to screw everything up with their few different options for Mercedes R129, like this one or this ugly monster, and I thank God that we got this legendary look that we have today. This car was tested in every possible surface of the world, in every possible condition in the world. Just looking at it, you can feel that it can do more than just cruise under warm sun on the very nice pavement. Design of the car is simple, but at the same time it has status, and you can feel the importance of the vehicle. The car had huge demand. It had such a huge demand that the waiting list for a new model was almost 2 years. And in my opinion, it has the best looking roll bar in the world, after early Porsche Targa, with that silver roll bar that it had. Apparently Mercedes spent 19 or 20 million dollars only on developing the roll bar. And the money is well spent, because it doesn't just look beautiful, it's also a very safe feature for a convertible. Some of the engine got the 3-position valve timing. The first one was luxurious setting for very lazy and fat driving style. The second was sporty setting, and the top was the all the power in the world setting. In 1993, Bosch fuel injection was added to the engines. It gave more fuel efficiency and better throttle response. In 1992, 600 SL came to life, and it was a very thirsty and big powerful engine. It generated 394 brake horsepower and 100 km happened in 5.8 seconds. The 5-liter V8 generated 314 brake horsepower and 100 km happened in 6 seconds. Not a very big difference, but SL600 considered to be the king of the convertibles. Mercedes knew that R129 looked amazing, and not to lose this wonderful appearance, they must be very careful with the facelift, not to screw up and keep the beauty of R129. And they did great job on each of their facelift. Or I like to call it small refresh, because you cannot call it a full facelift, they just change little things. So first one was in 1995. I will not say that 1993, because they didn't do anything to the body, they just changed letters and basically that's it. Now it became SL, not the 500 SL. The only change they did is the same coloring of the bumper and the rear bumper and the side skirts with the color of the car. Also, 5-speed gearbox was added, and basically that's it. The second was in the 1996. Now they had little different headlights, because now they had xenon headlights. Also, there was available panoramic roof that you could attach and detach. Also, we had rain sensors, and climate control was digital, and the side of the car had 2 vents, not 3 vents. The third was in 1998. Now, 1998 facelift was basically a real facelift, because it had big change. There were new engines, there was different leather, not perforated and Napa leather, bigger rims were available, and car became a little bit more round shaped. But still design was magnificent, and also the facelift car had more space inside than the pre-facelift version. Some say that R129 had more cosmetic changes than middle-aged man with his new looks every year that helps him to deal with his middle-age crisis. common problems of R129 were soft top will go wrong one day, and it was very complicated to fix because it had very difficult hydraulic system with 11 capsules in it that usually leaked a lot. If one capsule breaks, then all the capsule breaks and all that fluid goes everywhere in the interior, it goes down the body, and that's very horrible experience. And to change the roof, it will cost you up to $4,000. Seat adjustment panels sometimes rattles, but it can be fixed easily. Sun visor also rattles sometimes, especially some of the parts of the interior, they can be rattly, but you know, the car is more than 30 years old, so that's okay, and everything can be fixed very easy. But some early SL models had some rust issues under the plastic steel covers for jacking points. Also, under the trunk there could be some rust because of the battery holders that sometimes can leak. Also, there's some rust sometimes, in very rare occasions, near the connecting points of the roof mountings. Engine and gearbox usually were very reliable. 6-cylinder engines are reliable, but V8s are more fun and basically also very reliable. M119 and M113 V8s have no problems at all. Very reliable engines. Just take care of it and it will serve you and all your kids and all your bloodline. And that's a nice thing. V12 is also a reliable engine with proper maintenance, but proper maintenance is very expensive, and it's much easier to buy a V8, and difference in the performance it's not so big, so V8 is always a better choice. Transmissions are also very reliable. 4-speed and 5-speed gearbox are indestructible. Just occasionally check for any oil leaks in the transmission and change oil every 60 or 70,000 kilometers and everything will be just fine forever. Suspension components are very available everywhere, but if you have the Citroen active damping system, then it will be harder to keep the maintenance because there are not many people who know how it works and it's difficult to find some of the parts. All SLs drain batteries, and do not jumpstart them if you have this problem. Just buy a new battery. It will be much cheaper, safer, and it will save you a lot of money and nerves. Last facelift version, about the mid-2000s, 1998, that it had more space than the pre-facelift version SLs, and that's a very nice feature because for some people it felt a little bit cramped, and with the facelift version it had more space in it and people felt more relaxed in it. Everybody on YouTube talks about biodegradable wiring, but in my experience that I know, the SL owners, they never told me any problems with the wiring at all. Everything worked perfectly. There were some roof problems and basically that's it. Some mechanical problems, but not with the wiring or electricity or electrical stuff. Interior of R129 is awesome, as in any Mercedes from that era. Real leather, real wood, everything smelled wonderful. Materials that the soft top was made from was just excellent. I love the feel of each button in this car. You have this wonderful luxurious feel when you just sit in the car. It gives you a sense of peace and quiet in your life. It will give you a smile if you just, in the car and not going anywhere. That's very rare feature in the modern cars. Mercedes invented the strategy of special editions in R129. They had 12 special editions before discontinuing the production. And I think the Pagani copied their tactics with each of their car with their special editions, and that's just very interesting. Because even Mercedes didn't want to kill this wonderful SL. Now let's talk about R230. In 1996, Mercedes started to develop the R230. Approach for the designing of the car was very interesting. Mercedes invited designers from Japan, California, and Germany. And all of those wonderful and creative designers used supercomputer called CAVE, Computer-Aided Virtual Environment. This system also was used on W230, and you can see some resemblance in two cars. And just after 1 year designing the car, it was approved. Then development, production and testing began. What came out didn't disappoint Mercedes fans. Car was stiffer, wheelbase was little longer and wider. R230 was heavier than R129, but it felt much lighter. Rooftop was perfected. It even had smart and very convenient boot. And thank God it didn't have any air suspension. It was a popular car, as R129 was when it came out. Waiting list also was almost 2 years for those wonderful SLs. The unique thing about R230 that R129 didn't have is that even in the basic trims, car looked expensive and felt expensive. It didn't feel that you didn't work hard in life. It didn't feel that you were not disappointment. It didn't feel that you got something less. It felt like you got a Mercedes convertible and you were happy even with the V6 engines. And of course, there was no more removable hardtop where you need 3 people to operate it and put it twice a year. Now it was full automatic with metal roof. It was much quieter, more reliable and more faster to operate. And even today the R230 looks modern and it aged very good, and still it's aging very nice. You can take this car to any rich event, art show, and car will still look presentable and desirable. Best engine for R230 are V8s, the M113, 5-liter and AMG version. The 5-liter generated 306 horsepower, 0 to 100 km happened in 6.2 seconds, and 5.5 supercharged AMG version generated 493 horsepower, and 100 km happened in 4.5 seconds. I do not recommend the V6 because, they're slow and not as reliable as the V8s I just mentioned. I will do another video comparing the facelift version to pre-facelift version, because now facelift versions are very expensive and R230 are not so expensive. Now they're the same price as R129. So I feel that it's logical to compare these two cars. If you appreciate wonderful German convertibles, please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Problems with R230 are very rare. The ABC active body control system can go wrong, but if you change every 30,000 all the fluids, it will serve you, and it serves until you die, and it will serve all your bloodline. Occasionally you must lubricate the roof joints and it will be very reliable. In general, the roof is more reliable than 129. So which one to buy? If you have limited budget, I would not even consider looking at R129 because of maintaining costs. The car is reliable, but you must understand that some of them are more than 30 years old, so you must be very careful when you buy 129. And 129s that are in good conditions, they are very expensive and even more expensive than R230. So if you're buying SL on the tight budget, look for R230 SL500. Buy one with the full service history and check that all the liquids were changed on time and enjoy it forever. But if you did financially good in your life and you have some spare cash, I recommend you to buy R129 V12 early 2000 version in black color. I know that I said the power difference is not big, but the V12, it feels different, it sings. It's more stable, it has this luxurious feel when you drive it. It makes you more happy than the V8, and it has more options, and the car has this billion-dollar vibe, just like W140, and that's a very good feeling. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what is your favorite Mercedes convertible and why. Take care and bye bye.